It's not often that killers audio record the entirety of their crimes, but that's exactly what this one did. This entire case, from start to finish, proves that truth is stranger than fiction, and things are not always as they seem. This video will have audio that may be upsetting to some. Viewer discretion advised. On Thanksgiving Day 2012, in a small town in Minnesota, 2 teenagers did not show up to their family dinner. There was a snowstorm the night prior that bled into the day, so their loved ones wondered if they were hunkered down somewhere, or worse, in a ditch. Not one of them was prepared for the reality, which was far more grim than their imaginations would allow. By the following day, they knew something was terribly wrong and filed a missing persons report for both cousins, 18-year-old Haley Kiefer and 17-year-old Nicholas Brady. Around this same time, 64-year-old Byron Smith was ushering police to a room in his basement. Haley and Nick were closer than most cousins. They grew up together and forged more of a sibling-like relationship. When Nick began heading down the wrong path in life, Haley decided to tentatively follow behind. He had already begun breaking and entering with friends, and on that fateful holiday, Haley accompanied him to his next mark. The two spent some time casing out the seemingly empty house. They looked through the windows for lights, but they were absent. No car was visible on or near the driveway. No footsteps could be heard emanating from inside. What they didn't know was that self-righteous vigilante Byron Smith had set this trap and was lying in wait in his basement. He had unscrewed light bulbs, parked down the street, and hit record on his little audio device as he waited on a chair hidden by darkness. Once Nick was certain that the coast was clear, he smashed through a window to climb through. He spent the next 12 minutes upstairs before finally descending towards the basement. Haley stayed back outside, possibly unwilling to engage in the break-in. Before he reached the bottom of the stairs, Byron opened fire. Nick was shot twice, causing him to tumble down. Once in a heap on the floor, Byron administered a fatal blow, a shot to his head. After, he is heard quickly gathering tarp to wrap the body in. Once secured, he dragged him into another room in the basement. Byron then went upstairs for about 10 to 15 minutes before he caught a glimpse of Haley waiting outside. He scurried back down the stairs, reloaded, and patiently waited yet again. After a few more minutes, Haley grew concerned. It had been a while since Nick entered the home. She decided to crawl into the window to find him. She is heard whispering, "Nick," at the top of the stairs before heading down to look for him. Byron yet again opened fire, shooting her in the arm. Next, you hear a click as the gun jams. "Oh, sorry about that," Byron taunted as he continued to shoot. She tumbles down the stairs where he grabbed her by the hair and shot her near her left eye. He then wrapped her in a tarp and dragged her into the same room where Nick was. Where he realized that she was still alive, he shot her one last time. The next day, Byron led police to the 2 wrapped-up bodies piled on top of one another. He offered them false statements where he claimed that Haley taunted and laughed at him when his gun jammed. He failed to mention his recording device, which was luckily found during their investigation. That changed everything. On it, before the homicides occurred, he is heard rehearsing interactions with his brother and defense attorneys, proof that his acts were premeditated. He is heard talking of cleaning up a mess. He is heard yelling obscenities at his victims, both when still alive and dead. What was missing from the audio were Haley's alleged taunts and her laughter. Byron was eventually found guilty of 2 counts of premeditated first-degree murder and was sentenced to life without parole. I am now going to play the audio. I did cut out some points of dead air and a few of his statements that were repetitive. Take a listen.
In your left eye. Bruce, stop by tomorrow morning. No rush, but as soon as convenient. Can you do that? Yeah. Park to the north. 100 yards north of the corner, and walk in from the west. I realize I don't have an appointment, but I would like to see one of the lawyers here. Oh, sorry about that. You're dying. Bitch. I'm safe now. Cute. I'm sure she thought she was a real pro. No rush, but, when it's convenient for you. Check out the waffle apron. Check out the jacket trim. I feel a little bit safer. Not totally safe. I'm still shaking a bit, but a little bit safer. No rush, but, as convenient for you. I left my house at 11:30. They were both dead by 1. I refuse to live in fear. I felt like I was cleaning up a mess. Worse than spilled food. Worse than vomit. Worse than shit. Cleaning up a mess. You're dead.
Now, don't get me wrong. What these two teens did was wrong and illegal. But what Byron Smith did far exceeded self-defense. There was bountiful evidence of premeditation. And there was bountiful evidence that Byron inflicted violence after both teens were no longer physically able to cause any harm. Also, both teens were unarmed. I would love to know what you think about this case. Do you think justice was served?